Well, g'day, and welcome back to Zhaoqing on a, well, rather overcast Sunday afternoon. We're going to go for a little walk down along the riverfront here and have a look at what we can see down here while we have a little chat about. We're going to look at sort of, I guess, the 10 things that surprised me moving to Zhaoqing. What's different from what I expected, what very much is what I expected. So just to point out where we are here, up here we have, let's turn this camera around for you. So this here is a fairly new road. They were still building this when I first arrived here. It goes, runs probably between 10 and 15 kilometers, the entire length of the area of Zhao here. And you can see the buildings over this side. The level of the road is around about the first floor. So it's all built up on an embankment to protect the river, the city from the river in times of flood, which happens every sort of the end of winter, I guess, snow melting time further north. Over the river we have Zhao, which is another district of Zhaoqing, and there's a lot of shipping runs up and down the river. But we're not going to talk about the river today. We're going to go for a little wander down into a new area. This area down here is all built for recreation. So there's basically a footpath runs right the way through the length of the road. So there's all sorts of things down here, recreational stuff. There's areas for people to come down, have barbecues. Quite often see fireworks being let off down here in the during the spring festival time. So there's a lot of things go on down here. It's very, very pleasant of an evening. So, 10 things that surprised me moving to Zhaoqing. First thing that I noticed, actually, which is going to sound really stupid, but was so many Asian faces. Sort of in my brain, I knew that I was coming to China, it was going to be full of Chinese people, and fully expected that, but my mind, I don't know, my mind hadn't quite caught up with it. And I remember the first few days I was here, I'd be walking around and, you know, around the streets, crowded streets, and I'd just be looking around going, wow, there's so many Chinese people here. Yeah, it took me a little while to just get used to the different demographic, I guess. It took a while for my mind to catch up with reality. How friendly people are and how amazed they are seeing foreigners. That's especially true here in Zhaoqing. Other places not so true. If I go to places like Guangzhou, Shenzhen, where lots of foreigners live, I don't stand out. You know, they see foreigners all the time and it's really nothing special. So, but here where there are far less foreigners than those other places, it is, yeah, a lot of people don't see foreigners here, even though there are some about, but yeah, not nearly as many. People here are really friendly, really helpful. Yeah, you ever need any help, you can ask pretty much anyone and they'll help you out. I'm probably a little bit biased in that Chinese people probably don't have the same reaction to when you ask them for, you know, if a Chinese person goes asking for help. I think, you know, a large part of it is because I am foreign, because I am different. People sort of take that extra time. And yeah, how amazed some people are when they actually see me. It's, yeah, quite funny. Tell you one story. We'll just turn the camera around and have a look down here. So we're down at the riverfront here. You see a couple of people in there swimming. I don't know that I'd want to swim in that water. There's people fishing. A lot of people just come down to relax, look at the river. Yeah, so one story I'll tell you. I met a girl online. I'm on a language learning app where you go on and people can ask questions about learning English and stuff. So I met this girl. She'd posted a couple of photos of her singing. So I made a comment underneath and said, "Oh, it looks great. I'd love to come and hear you sing sometime." Me being a guitar player, singer myself. And she sort of replied, "Oh yeah, that'd be great, but I'm in China and I see you're Australian." I messaged her back and say, "Yeah, well, I've just moved to China. Where in China are you?" "Oh, I'm in Zhaoqing. You've probably never heard of it." And wouldn't you know it, I've just moved to Zhaoqing. So we arranged to meet up, and we arranged to meet outside the sort of between the KFC and the Starbucks in Darren Far being one of the shopping centres here. And I got there early. I'm always early. I hate being late to things. So I'm sat down out the front on the ground in the shopping centre, just watching people walk by. It's something I always enjoy doing. And family walks past. Well, walks towards me. They've obviously just been in the shopping centre. And there's mum and a dad, and they've got a young boy in the shopping trolley. He would have been, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old, I guess. And he's in a right mood, yelling and screaming, and he's picking up the shopping out of the shopping trolley and just hurling shopping everywhere. And the poor mum's running around picking things up, and he has picked something up to throw it. And as he's about to throw, he's seen me, and whatever he had in his hand to throw, he just dropped, and his mouth just, oh, wow. And the parents, they cracked up laughing. I cracked up laughing. We all had a good laugh about that. And yeah, the boy seemed to totally forget that he was meant to be in a bad mood. So yeah, friendly people, always helpful. If I go to a bar here, I never have to buy a drink. They're always people giving them out because they want to have a drink with the foreigner. What else surprised me here? Cars. The cars they have here are bloody incredible. So first of all, they do have a lot of European cars, BMWs, Mercedes, Volkswagens, Peugeots, all those sorts of things. And nice ones, Porsches. There's a lot of Porsches here. So they have great cars that they bring into China, but also the car manufacturing here. Sort of, you look back even 10 years ago, you're buying a Chinese car in Australia, they were pretty cheap and nasty, and you bought one if you had to. But the cars here now are as good as anything, especially the new electric cars. Companies like XPeng, BYD are making some amazing cars that will rival anything on the road. So yeah, the cars here really impress. The technology in them is amazing. All the self-driving technology now. One of my colleagues at the school I work in has just bought this new electric car, and I'm staggered every time I get into the thing to see how much stuff this thing has in it. Schools. Another thing that surprised me. You have this stereotype of Asians being smart and doing very well academically. Yeah, the reason for that is the hours they spend in school. They spend a lot of time. There's a middle school next door to my college here. The kids there are showing up at 8 o'clock in the morning and they're going home at 6 o'clock at night. So they're spending long hours. They do have a couple of hours in the middle of the day where they go and have a bit of a siesta. I think between sort of, I don't know, after lunch, between 1 and 3 maybe. So, if we just turn the camera around here, we'll have a look. Here's one of these little exercise areas here. So they have lots of exercise equipment lined up. Anyone can come and use at any time. So yeah, the schools here, the kids are very, very dedicated. One reason for this is with such a big population, they really have to do well in school to be able to get a good job. With so many people competing for jobs. So yeah, they're very, very dedicated. I remember walking home one day from the, I don't know, shopping centre or something. I was walking back to my school, and it was just at school coming out time for must have been about a middle school. And walked past this middle school, and there's all the kids out the front waiting for the school buses and stuff. And they're all sitting under this great big tree. And it's the sort of tree that if I was still a kid, man, I'd be up that tree climbing all over the thing. Because that's what you do when you're a kid. But here, there's no kids in the tree. They're all sat under the tree doing their homework. I just wanted to climb that tree and show them how to do it. But I didn't. I'm probably too old for that kind of behavior. I'd have fallen down and broken something. Right, what else do we have here? Other things that surprise me. Crime. And especially pickpocketing, so my mother lived here before I came here. She came here in 2005. She was here for 6 years. And one of the things she warned me about before I came here was watch out for pickpockets. I've been here for just over 6 years now, never seen a pickpocket. I used to go looking for them, just keeping my eyes out when we're on the bus and stuff. Where's the pickpockets? But they've pretty much been abolished nowadays. Nobody carries cash here anymore. Everything is done on your phone. All your payments for everything is done through WeChat. So yeah, pickpockets really been eliminated. Even if they steal your phone, everybody's got security on the phone. They can't do anything with it. So that's disappeared. Other things that have surprised me in recent times. Oh, we've got a little fishing boat ripping by here. Oh, this silly camera thing. I don't know if we're picking up the noise of that motor, but it's a very distinctive sound. Someone's been out fishing somewhere up and down the river. So, what other things have we got here? Technology. So, like with the cars, I sort of expected when I was coming here, I expected them to be a bit backwards. I sort of thought, I'll come to China and I'm a Westerner and I know about technology and I'll be able to show them a thing or two. No, I'm way behind. The technology here is absolutely astounding. For example, WeChat, which is what we use for communicating and paying bills. You use WeChat for everything here. So it's kind of like if you can imagine Facebook, where you've got your messenger app, where you can talk to people, have conversations. You also have a wall where you can post moments. So, post your photos and stuff. The difference is the only people who see your posts are the people who are your friends. So if, for example, on Facebook, if a friend posts something and somebody that I don't know comments on that picture, I can see that comment. Can't do that on WeChat. The only people who see anything on your wall are your friends, nobody else, which I kind of like. It's a little bit more secure. We see a lot of boats over here on the left. So WeChat also has a channels page, which is where you post videos. So somewhere I post videos on quite regularly. The channels page is open to everybody. So if you share something, it can go viral and you know, you can get 1 million people seeing your post in no time at all if it's something that takes off. WeChat also used for buses, booking trains, booking hotels, DD cars, which is like your Uber. It's all linked up to your bank account, so anytime that you book something like this on WeChat, it you know, it's just paid for straight away through your WeChat. It's brilliant, it's very, very secure, and it's dead easy to use. There was something else about WeChat I was going to mention as well, and I've bloody forgotten what it was. WeChat, what was I going to say? Channels, moments, payments. Yeah, anyway, WeChat, it's an amazing app. We really should be looking at making this, you know, a Western version of WeChat, because no doubt Western governments wouldn't allow WeChat because, oh, it'll be the Chinese spying on us or some such garbage. Other technology stuff, just everything. You know, sort of had this idea from the past when China was making a lot of very cheap stuff. They were just starting off onto this journey of theirs into technology. And yeah, you really need to change those stereotypes of, oh, things from China are just cheap and nasty. So not true. Just about everything I own now is Chinese made, and the quality is as good as anything you will see anywhere. And quite honestly, in a lot of cases, it's actually better. Right, what else do we hear? Traffic was another huge, big surprise for me. First of all, they drive on the other side of the road. So in Australia, we drive on the left. Here, they drive on the right. Just that took some getting used to. So, you know, you walk out, you go to cross the road. In Australia, you know, the cars are coming from your right-hand side. And so I'd look to the right, step out onto the road, and there'd be a car come flashing in front of my face from the left. And I go, oh shit, looked the wrong way again. Nearly got run over a number of times before I came, when I first came here. So yeah, that took a bit of getting used to. Same thing, riding in a car, like being a passenger in a car. You're sitting in what for me would have been the driver's seat. So anytime we're coming up to a red light at the traffic lights, I used to find myself trying to put my foot on the brakes, even though I'm in the passenger seat. It was very off-putting for a while. I've finally managed to wean my way out of that now. Also, very, very different traffic rules. So I don't think I've seen a stop sign or a give way sign since I got here. I might have seen 1 or 2 stop signs, but most intersections here have either traffic lights or they're unsignposted, and you just have to use care when going through an intersection. So if a car's, so they were driving on the right, if a car wants to turn right, they'll just pull out in front of other traffic. Now in Australia, you'd get a ticket for that. And when I used to sit and watch, you know, I'd sit at a busy corner and just watch the traffic for ages when I first arrived, going, wow, these guys, they're all bloody crazy. And it wasn't until I sat down and talked to somebody and sort of realized that, well, actually, they're not crazy, they just want to get home. And the fact is, if you drive here like you drive in Australia and you wait for a hole in the traffic to pull out, you could be, you know, especially during rush hour time, you could be sitting there for an hour and a half waiting for a hole in the traffic. So you've got to be a little bit pushy and stuff here when you're driving. So yeah, it's a different mindset, and the people who you're pulling in front of, they know what's going on as well. So, you know, it's not, yeah, in Australia it'd cause mass road rage. Here it's not an issue because the people behind you, they know that they're going to do the same thing to somebody else as well. What else have we got here that's surprising. Nightlife. So, really, most places here are fairly quiet during the day. It's there's not much happens. It's very hot, so people do tend to come out at night time. The parks, Paifong Square, like we saw the other night, bars, restaurants. There's always lots of people out, families. One thing that really did surprise me was, you know, you go for a walk at 10 o'clock on a school night, and there's still children out in the streets playing and stuff. And that sort of, at first I was a bit like, oh geez, that's a bit late for them, isn't it? But like I say, they have a 2-hour kip in the middle of the day, so they're doing all right, and they seem to handle it okay. Right, what else have we got? Surveillance. We were told, you know, before I came, oh, they'll be watching you everywhere you go, rah-de-rah-de-rah. And sort of true, but sort of not true. But I actually kind of like the idea of the surveillance here. And I'll tell you why. If you're not doing anything wrong, you have nothing to be worried about. The surveillance isn't going to affect you. And if you are doing something wrong, they're gonna find out pretty easily who you are, where you came from, what you did. So yeah, it's a bad idea to go committing crimes here. But the good thing about having the surveillance and people know they're being watched, if I can't sleep at night, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll go for a walk out around the city, and there's nowhere that I'm worried about going. You know, everywhere is safe. I can walk down dark alleys and there's no problem. You know, there's a population of 4 million plus here in Zhaoqing. My hometown's what, 25, 30,000? There's places I wouldn't dare go at night time in my hometown. So yeah, while, you know, you can do the whole privacy thing with surveillance, if you're not doing anything wrong, I don't see the issue, and it just makes the place safe. I was a bit nervous about it when I first arrived, but now that I've seen how people respond to it, I love it. It's great. What else have we got here? There's 2 more points here we wanted to look at. One is calendars, which is something I'd never even thought about when I first arrived here. So, depending on what you're dealing with, they will either use the standard westernized calendar here, or they will use the Chinese calendar, which is, yeah, it's like, I don't even know what they call it, the lunar calendar, I guess. So I had a student back in my 2016 class when I first arrived here. She had a birthday while we're here, so I took her and a couple of her classmates. We all went out for dinner one night, and when I got home, I put her birthday in my phone so that next year I could remember. The next year she'd be gone doing her internship, but I figured the next year I'll be able to send her a message, say happy birthday, make her day, make her feel happy that someone's thinking of her. And so a year goes by, I send her a message saying happy birthday, and she sends me a message back saying, what do you mean? It's not my birthday. I went, huh? It was your birthday last year. And yeah, we chatted about it and then realized I was looking at the Western calendar, she was looking at the Chinese calendar. So we had a laugh about that. So yeah, the calendar, mainly they do use the Western style calendar, but there are things, especially when you're talking about Chinese festivals and things, where the lunar calendar comes in. Right, the last thing I want to talk about was the police here, which I was very nervous about when I first arrived. thinking, oh, they're always going to be watching me, I'm a foreigner, they're always going to be stopping me, ask to see my passport, my papers. But hasn't happened. I've never once been stopped since I got here. They are generally unarmed, so they do have squads. There will be a squad sitting down next to Paifong Square in a car, and I think there's another area where they sit, where they have 3 or 4 guys who are armed, just ready to respond in case something happens. But generally the police here are totally unarmed and very friendly, always helpful. Yeah, just like the general population, they're just really friendly folk. So there's 10, or maybe it was 11, I'm not sure, I might have lost count. But things that surprised me moving to China. I was going to, no, I wasn't going to. They're in no particular order, there's no this thing surprised me more or anything, and it's not the top 10 things or the 10 things, it's just 10 things. There's lots of things that surprised me moving here. We'll probably do more videos like this in the future. We'll talk about some of the great things, some of the not so great things, some of the things that are similar and different between Australia and China. Under the trees. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you have any ideas, any things that you'd like to see in Zhaoqing or know about China in general. I don't know that I can do a lot about China in general. I haven't traveled to a lot of China yet, but I'm happy to answer questions that I can answer. But mainly about Zhaoqing, Guangdong province. Please share. Let your friends know. Show people who might be interested in learning about China. Subscribe, like, all that stuff. Comment your questions. And stay safe. We'll be back soon with another video. Oh, just to let you know, we are looking at doing videos sort of weekly in the future. But at the moment, our school's on holidays, so I'm just trying to get some content out and get some stuff on my channel as quick as we can. So if you've got ideas, things you want to see, things you want to know or learn about, hit me up, ask me, so that give me ideas for content, because I'm still new to this. I'm still trying to come up with ideas, so don't hesitate to ask for what you'd like to see. I'm happy to oblige. Thanks guys for sticking around, and we will speak to you in the next one. Take care.